Hello, I'm Kimball Setzer with Medellin Crash Course, and today I want to teach you how to travel through Medellin, Colombia like a local. First, the most common form of transportation is the metro. So the metro travels south to north through Medellin and north to south, but it goes straight through the center of Medellin, and basically wherever your neighborhood is or wherever the nearest station to you is, you would get in that station, you would buy a card that's called a Civica, and it's about 10 mil, which is like $2.50, and then you would buy passes. So you can do it one of two ways. You can buy a bunch of passes. That way you don't have to continually buy passes, or you can buy a pass for each trip. So let's just say you're in Poblado. You go to the Poblado station. You buy a card. Then you buy two passes. You get on the station. You travel, north to let's just say Bejo, and then you get off the metro. You come back with that same card later in the day, and then you use that same card with the pass, check back into the metro, and then you take it back down south to Poblado. And that's how you would travel through the metro. It's very simple. And the second most common form of transportation goes hand in hand with the metro, and this is the buses. So if you use a metro, it gives you a discount to use the buses that are at the metro station. So a lot of the time you would use the metro, and then you would need to go somewhere within that neighborhood, and maybe it's a little farther than walking distance. So then you could just use the bus, and you would use the same Civica card, and it would be about 50 cents just to take you to your destination on the bus. So the metro and the bus, those are two very good forms of transportation, and usually they work together. Or you could just use the bus by itself if you're in Laureles and want to travel, somewhere through Laureles. Common form of transportation to travel like a local is Didi. On Didi, it's a lot like Uber, except the only difference is you can negotiate your prices. So this is very common for Colombians because maybe they don't want to pay the Uber prices, which are very cheap, but it's a different economy down here. Negotiate your prices, and then they will either accept, deny, or counteroffer, and then they will come to pick you up after that if they accept. And also, it's not just cars. You can also do this with motos, which are motorcycles, and it's a lot cheaper than using other applications like Uber or Lyft that doesn't really exist down here, but Uber does. So yeah, Didi is very common. Now the fourth most common means of transportation, especially like a local, is a taxi. I don't recommend using taxis, especially if you're a gringo, because they'll try to take advantage of you. But if you want to travel like a local, taxis aren't horrible. Especially, I've used them every now and again, especially if I go to like a supermarket and I buy a bunch of groceries, and then there's always a taxi waiting outside. So instead of calling an Uber, I'll just use a taxi. But I'm very cautious with using taxis. I make sure I see the meter turn on, and make sure that they're driving the correct direction, and I show them on the maps where the location is. But taxis, a very local way of traveling in Medellin. So there you have it today. You have metro, buses, Didi, and taxi as the four most common ways to travel like a local in Medellin, Colombia. Thank you.